Okay, so here's another one. Do you want a reform question or one about drugs?
Let's do drugs first.
Okay.
We talk about reform all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Christopher asks, would marijuana or is this marijuana? It was spelled weird. Okay. Marijuana be considered pharmakeia? And I think
Yes, absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like unless it's being used in a medicinal way. That's this is the case with any kind of drug. Unless it's being used in a medicinal way to stop pain or to cure something, then it's pharmakeia. Pharmakeia was when it's the word for sorcery in Greek, and it's when guys who were into the occult would take mind altering drugs to have an experience. Mm-hmm. And the whole point, everybody that I've ever known that has smoked pot, the reason they're doing it is to alter their minds. Mm-hmm. They're all doing it to get the buzz, to get the high, to feel good, to do the things that they're doing. And it's pharmakeia. So I understand people that want to use marijuana for to settle their stomach when they're doing chemotherapy and that kind of thing. But frankly, with me, that would never be happening. I'd rather throw up than go there because of the nature of the drug in our culture and the fact that it stumbles people. We need to be people who care about the people who are around us and what the consequences are of the things that we do. And so the reason I don't drink is because there are a lot of people in our culture who are drunks. And some of them have become Christians. They've walked away from the whole drinking culture and they're trying to walk with God. And me having a beer is going to be something that is going to impact them. I don't do it because I care about ex-drunks. And I don't smoke pot because I care about people whose lives have been trashed by pot. I have all kinds of people that I've known over the years that are 35 and living in their mom's basement because they worship weed. And you don't want to do things that are going to stumble people. And so mm-hmm. there's a number of other things that you can do to take care of problems. And if it was a choice between marijuana and some other drug to help me with mm-hmm. not wanting to throw up because of chemotherapy or something like that, I'd ask the doctor for another drug. If he didn't have another one, I'd just go, I'll hack it through.
Yeah.
Because there's a stigma that's involved with it. So it's not just, a matter of what I can get away with or what's okay with God or that kind of thing, because there's a number of things that in our culture have a stigma to them that in another culture have no stigma at all. And I'm careful to make sure that I don't stumble people, and so it's one of those issues.
Mm-hmm. He has an extended version of this question, and I think it's actually pretty valid. When does it go from sorcery to beneficial? And I think in the way he's talking about is let's just take away marijuana for a second.
Yeah, let's
just take about medicine.
Let's use OxyContin.
Yeah.
When it's a difference between I'm going to go get high and I've got pain and the medicine.
Function.
Yeah, I've got pain and I can't function. Yeah, that's a great term. That's the difference. So one is medicine, and one is I just want to get high.
Yeah,
and that's the distinction. And so when you're talking about some of the opioids, we've got an opioid crisis that's going on. Well, those opioids are being prescribed as pain medication, and people are taking off with them, and they're just going out and getting high on them. Mm-hmm. And going out and getting high on them, that is pharmakeia. That's what the Bible's talking about. Mm-hmm. They have medicine in the Bible. In fact, there's a difference between drunkenness and using alcohol as a medication. Let me share that with you. This is out of the book of Proverbs.
Yeah, it talks something about like before the guy dies or something
right.
like that. Yeah.
This is out of Proverbs chapter 31, and it starts in verse 4. It says, "It's not for kings, O Lemuel, it's not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes intoxicating drink, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the justice of all the afflicted." And it's talking about the fact that wine alters your mindset and changes the way it alters your judgment. It goes on and says, verse 6, "Give strong drink to him who is perishing, and wine to those who are bitter of heart. Let him drink and forget his poverty and remember his misery no more." And it's the idea of somebody who is having a hard time, somebody who cannot function because of what's happening in their life, specifically with the area of somebody who's afflicted or somebody who is dying. That's when wine was used as for medicinal purposes. So there's a difference between comforting somebody in a situation so that they can function and going out and getting blasted.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's exactly the same thing with wine versus a medicinal use versus going out and getting drunk. And it's exactly the same thing when you're talking about the medicinal use of any kind of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're going to your parents' medicine cabinet and pulling out the oxys and going out partying with your friends, you are a sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
That's pharmakeia.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible's talking about. So
that's good.
yeah.